Hello! Noby here. This is part 2 of the summary highlight playthrough of Road's End Club. Last time we got a bad ending for the game, and now we will rectify that by going through a different timeline. With that being said, let's continue Road's End Club. Okay, so I decided to go back to the train sequence and see if anything changed there when it came to my choices. And before we get to decide, Rachel notices that, wait a minute, he knows this situation. He recognizes this, and unless he does something different, the same outcome will happen as last time. So now he can choose the emergency button to create a different future. I guess our little fella is aware of other timelines. It is typical Uchikoshi here. Okay, so this time we press the emergency button, and it's not working? Well, that was a complete waste. But now Pochi is telling us that the brakes are about to give out, so we gotta do something. As for Aniki, well, looks like our brother is gonna give it his all here.
I don't see Penelope either.
Everyone, look! Over there! Aniki! 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 Wake up!
Pi. And everyone else?
Sorry, I was late. That train's brakes were broken, so it took a long time to slow down.
Who cares about that? The important thing is Aniki okay?
Damn, bro! That was reckless!
Seriously, don't scare us like that. Aniki! Aniki, you stupid fool!
And thus, once again, Penelope is gone. And this time everyone is together from the get-go in comparison to last time. And we decide to camp once more. Yuki explains to us more about the hyperamygdala clear.
You see, humans naturally have the ability to see objects in the spirit realm. You know how babies stare into space sometimes? That's what's going on. Cats do that too, right? But for humans, as we grow older, we lose the ability. That's because, as we grow older, we brainwash ourselves into thinking ghosts don't exist. More accurately, it's not making you see what you can't see. It makes you see things that you were naturally able to see.
Must resist, Yumineko joke. Must resist, Yumineko joke. We see the kids thanking Aniki and Tatsum for protecting the group with their abilities. We hear from Chuko that her ability is entirely dependent on Karamucho. At the train station when she tried protecting Tatsum, she wanted to use her ability, but she couldn't because she no longer had Karamucho. Yeah, at this point she became really addicted to them. She loves the spicy. By the way, Mo-chan was the one who ate Chuko's Karamucho.
What?
Looks like tonight we will have a special roasted Mo-chan prepared by Chuko. Okay, so here, Vanilla has quite a few things to tell us. in this particular section right over here, some that are very important. So, first, she tells us of her experience after she got hit by the truck, and how she went to school to see her friends as if nothing happened. And to her, it felt like a living dream, just being with her friends, but eventually it finally clicked and she felt lonely after her death. And she thanks Rachel, Pochi, and Pi for being the only ones to notice her during that time, otherwise she might have gone insane. Second, she talks about the brainwashing and how Aniki's apparently was the worst at the time. She apparently makes the connection that the power of brainwashing is tied to one's emotional health, which, I guess I can see it. He was the one who changed the most after Vanilla's death, and clearly had his issues, so that would be the reason why Aniki, out of all people, was like the most dangerous back in the Game of Fate, if you remember. He was quite an asshole back then, but, that's not all. Apparently, it affects his brain power. Like, he indeed was the sneakiest and smartest at that time, but Vanilla tells us that he is usually a bit of a dum-dum, which, I think it is an important detail to note for Aniki, like, later, once we get there. Third, Vanilla tells us why she wanted us all to go to Osaka. It's because during her investigations, she found out that there are people in Osaka who built a community without Mike noticing, like a resistance group that is doing research on how to stop Mike. And that there is a person there who can talk to ghosts. Like, all the stuff that Vanilla told us about Mike thus far, she heard it from the people there when she went to investigate. Fourth, apparently there was one place in the amusement park that Vanilla couldn't get into, even as a ghost. That, I guess, will remain a mystery for now, on what that means. Okay, after a long discussion with everyone, Aniki tells us about how he was able to see Vanilla in the train when he tried to protect everyone from Pielope. And he apologizes for not believing in the others in regards to Vanilla's existence.
It's okay.
Yeah, as long as you're all right now.
I don't know what my problem was. After Vanilla died, I felt like I lost half of me. Hey, can we lose this stupid strawberry-covered blanket?
What's wrong with it? Anyway, no one else is around.
Yeah, but...
You're getting a free haircut, so stop complaining. Gosh, Big Bro, you'd really be lost without me. I'm always waking you up in the morning so you don't oversleep, picking up your dirty clothes and throwing them in the wash, sharpening your pencils, tying your shoes, cooling off hot ramen. It never ends.
I get it. Jeez.
No, you don't get it at all. What would you ever do if you lost me?
Huh?
Things have to change. You have to learn to do things on your own, or... Hey, what's the big deal? Come on, it was just a joke. A joke. Don't worry, okay? I'll always be by your side to help you out. Until the day you get a nice wife, that is.
So Aniki asks Yuki about the Hyper Amygdala and decides that he wants to find it so that he can see Vanilla again. Okay, Pochi has worked on the brakes, and that they can go now to Nagoya. Remember, the car that crashed here is the other half of the train that got separated because of Anki. The other half is still on rails, so we can still use it. But before we move to the next segment, we have this moment here where Vanilla talks to Pi alone, and Vanilla thinks that the trader Pielope was talking about might be Mike's conspirator. I mean, I guess it makes sense since there is the idea that now Mike is the one controlling Penelope. Thus, Mike is the one looking for the traitor. So, now we arrive at... not Nagoya? We actually arrive at Shirakawago, a village in the northwest of Gifu. Apparently, somehow the train went the wrong way, and Pochi did an oopsie in the directions. Or did he? Because wait a minute. This is northwest of Gifu. This is where Yuki said the hypermigla clear is. That means that while we are here, we can search for it so that everyone can finally get to see Vanilla. Okay, so let's go find it. Pai is worried about Aniki's leg, and she doesn't want him to force himself, but Aniki really wants to go and find the migla clear.
I have to see Vanilla. And I have to apologize to her. So please, just leave me alone.
I can't do that! I worry about you, Aniki!
Why?
Because... you're a hero to me!
Here, you can have this.
Huh? But isn't this your textbook?
Yeah, but I don't need it. It's not like I ever use it anyway.
But...
Just take it. Man, that was really nasty what they did. Coming into the classroom to steal your textbook? They sure got lots of free time.
I know if I say this right out of the blue, you won't believe me, but I can see things normal people can't see.
Ghosts, right?
Oh, so you knew.
Yeah, the whole school's talking about it.
But some people don't believe me. They call me a liar and a fake. It hurts. I don't know how many times I've had to rebuy my gym clothes and school shoes. It was to the point I was just going to go into class barefoot.
I think it's friggin' awesome.
What?
You can see things others can't. That's pretty cool.
So, you believe me?
Of course. You're a member of the Go-Getters Club, and besides, you don't look like someone who'd lie. Anyway, I don't think they'll do anything to you anymore.
Why not?
Don't worry about it.
So Aniki promises to not overdo himself. After some searching, and using Aniki's Earthshaker ability, we find some hidden ruins. And we also hear the hyperamygdala clear inside singing with an angelic voice, which it is also a detail Yuki told us to recognize it, that it sings with an angelic voice. Pai tells us that there are rumors of an ancient civilization here called the Osuta, which a little after, Aniki calls it the Ostrich civilization.
Not ostrich! Asta!
Yeah, you know, this is what I was talking about before in regards to Vanilla's detail about Aniki's brainwashing. Cause here we see Aniki at his goofiest, which it is funny and cute. Like he keeps calling it Ostrich Civilization and how he leaves the puzzle solving to Rachel cause he himself doesn't want to do it. Okay, so after a long gameplay section right over here, we find the golden hyperamygdala clear. Aniki, overly excited over finding it and wanting to see Vanilla so much, goes right for it. No, Aniki, he's dangerous with your broken leg.
Unless we do something, Aniki's going to... Aniki's going to...
And thus Pi scolds him for what he did, and Anki thanks her for saving him. Indeed, Pi did not want to lose him. The way he feels about him, turning all red. Oh.
The angel's voice. It sounds so beautiful.
I really hate you, Aniki!
And, well, you know the drill, folks. Yuki makes the minestrone with the hyper amygdala, and everyone enjoys it like so much. But it was all worth it, because
So, how do you guys feel? What?
No way! I can see. I can see you! So Pi and the others were right!
Vanilla? Vanilla!
Vanilla! I missed you so much! Vanilla!
You guys can really see me, huh?
Yes, I see you!
Can you hear my voice too?
Of course we can hear you!
Oh my god! I'm so happy! All this time, I felt like you were ignoring me. It was like you turned your backs on me.
Of course we didn't! Vanilla, you're always gonna be a member of the Go-Getters Club! So Vanilla, tell us all about how it's been. Vanilla, you were all alone this whole time. I'm so sorry. Seriously, I'm sorry too.
No, it's not your fault. In fact, it's me that should apologize.
What are you talking about? Vanilla, there's absolutely nothing for you to apologize for.
Welcome back, Vanilla.
I'm back. You guys.
really sweet. It is indeed a heartwarming moment. But, hey, I don't see Aniki anywhere here. Where is that goofball?
There you are. This is so like you, big bro.
What?
You didn't want anyone to see you cry, right?
No, you jerk. I wasn't crying.
Liar. Look how red your eyes are.
It's from the sun.
I don't think so.
Vanilla, I need to say something to you. About that barbecue.
Stop. Don't say anything.
But
It's not your fault. It's all my fault.
you're wrong.
It is! Because I jumped into the road like that. So please, don't blame yourself anymore. I don't want to see you in pain.
Vanilla. Hey, Vanilla. Look how much my hair grew. After you died, I couldn't bring myself to cut it. I felt like if I cut it off, I'd lose you forever too.
So everything's okay now, right? Now I can cut your hair again, huh? We'll sit on the balcony,
and use that blanket with the stupid strawberries.
I thought it'd be enough just to see you with my eyes. That I'd be happy just to hear you and talk to you. But it's not enough after all. The truth is, I wanted to hug you. I wanted to run up to you and hold you tight. But I can't touch you, even though you're this close.
Why are you crying, big bro? Here we are, finally together again. Come on, smile. Please, can you give me a smile? If you cry that much, you'll make me sad too.
Hey, Vanilla, what should I do?
You don't have to do anything. Right now, just you being here. That's enough for me.
Vanilla! Vanilla!
Alright, well, that was all lovely. We are truly heading towards a happier future together. It is another step for the Go Getters Club. The adventure continues. And it is time for Camping Night number 12. One moment I will highlight here is what Pochi says in regards to how they managed to get here instead of Nagoya. Thinking about it extensively, especially since they were following the rails, which you'd think it would be much more difficult to get it wrong. The only thing that comes to Pochi's mind is that they were somehow led here by someone's will. Could it be that he's overthinking it? Now that everyone ate the hyper amygdala and can see Vanilla, they can also finally see the giant X in the sky. Vanilla says that it is called a panopticon, and that is all that she knows about it. She has no clue why Mike created it. But you know what? After such a long day, I don't think that we should worry our heads with that for the night. Instead, we should be happy that everyone can see Vanilla now, and go for another round of Go Getters Club Anthem.
Clear blue skies and warm summer days. We have to find the courage within for whatever comes our way. Our great adventure's about to begin.
12 boys and girls, go, go, go getters. Fate brought us together. And when we all work as one, we're the toughest thing around.
Things aren't easy, there's no doubt, but you'll never ever be alone. The sun is rising up, 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 up. Come on, now it's time to go. The road is so long, the nights are so cold, but our friends have been there from the start. Even if the world comes to an end, go, go, go getters will never fall apart.
Alright, so we move ever so closer to Tokyo. We are now in the Nagano area, and we notice Mount Fuji erupting. Definitely not a good sign. Okay, so what is about to happen soon enough? It is going to be very interesting, folks. we're gonna be going for another round of plot twists that once again surprised me, and I did not see it coming. However, there are some small parts that I feel mixed about, and one of them is right here at the beginning. So, everyone worries if Tokyo is safe. Pochi reassures everyone that things will be alright. I mean, they overcame so many obstacles till now, right? But then Kansai rebuttals in regards to the working together part and mocks Pochi for not doing anything. Very sensitive, Kansai. What can I say? Which leads to everyone thinking of how Rachel saved everyone's asses like so many times thus far. Saving Pochi and Yuki from the Yetis, Kansai working together with Rachel to find the antibiotics, Rachel helping in finding the hyperamygdala together with Aniki and Pai. He has done a lot of things for the group. And thus, the group praises our Lord and Savior, Rachel, for everything. Meanwhile, Pochi is being compared to Rachel in a not so favorable light. Like, the heck are you kids doing here? I don't even know where this is coming from. He obviously helped. Like, even Nyoro and Vanilla think favorably of him, since he helped with making the train work. And he was a great help to Vanilla like all this time. And Yuki and Pai are surely not fond of the treatment Pochi is getting here. But the rest of ya? Like, joking or not, it definitely feels uncalled for here. But okay, I feel like I get the purpose of this moment. It is to build up towards that very interesting moment that will happen soon enough. And remember the discussion that I had before about the club not being as united as before, thus leading to moments like this where the kids may joke about it, but they are not as understanding as they should be. So everyone goes forward, while Pochi decides to stay back a little and talk to Rachel. He has something interesting to say here.
Kinda funny, I guess. I'm so envious of you, Rachel. Loved by all. Everybody's hero. But me, on the other hand... Can I ask you something? In the world you live in, do people like me exist?
But things don't last long until the club gets attacked by flying UFOs. Rachel decides to take the initiative and fight the flying UFOs by throwing stuff at them and destroying them. But then comes another, even bigger UFO that is eventually defeated as well. Talk about quite a heroic day for Rachel. But then the bigger UFO from before decides to do one final desperate attack, while Rachel tries to protect everyone from the impact. I hope that Rachel survived this one.
Is everyone okay? Yeah, somehow.
But what about Rachel? Look over there! Rachel!
Hey! What the hell?
What? It can't be.
Rachel! He's...
A robot? He's a robot?
No, I don't believe it. It can't be.
But... how? It's impossible. Rachel, a robot?
Yep. Rachel was a robot this entire time. Here's to another twist, in similar vein to Ghost Vanilla. I mean, what's next? That Pochi is an alien? So, everyone is in shock of what is going on here. And they decide to check his body. Nyoro tells us that this robot didn't even have an AI, which makes it even more surprising since that means that he needed to be controlled. He didn't have a mind of its own, which means that it could very well be Mike who did it. Or this could have also been part of Vanilla's plan somehow, back from the Game of Fate? Or...
Pochi, can I borrow that game for a minute?
Huh? Why?
Just give it to me.
Ugh.
You guys ready? Watch this.
Apparently so. We are going for a double twist here, folks. This certainly raises questions if this is the case. I mean, Pochi, he was not with Rachel like 24/7. I mean, for example, Pochi was driving the train. But it is easy to explain, as long as Rachel's view is displayed on Pochi's console. Or even if they were far away from each other, Rachel can be controlled through a satellite. And, well, Pochi admits that Nyoro's deductions were true. That Pochi controlled Rachel all along. To top it all off, here it is being deduced by Vanilla that the Mike conspirator that she was thinking of earlier might actually be Pochi himself. Pochi, he doesn't say anything anymore, and most of the group is becoming impatient and see him as a bad person now after all this. It is sad, cause while the kids are shocked by all this and are filled with emotions over such a revelation right over here, eventually they don't even give him the chance to explain himself after maybe everyone calming down. It's all very chaotic here. Not even wanted to see him anymore. And because of that, Pochi runs away. Now, Rachel is gone. The kids, they are mourning him, thinking of their past together. They are surely gonna miss him now. It is decided that they will pick Rachel and put him to rest somewhere better than this place. And afterwards, the club finally arrives at Tokyo. Then, Vanilla stops everyone from going ahead to think twice on what happened back then. Of course, it was wrong to kick Pochi out. I mean, they were best friends after all. And alongside him helping everyone with the train and other stuff mentioned previously, if we are to think of what we know now, all that Rachel did to help everyone and save them from danger, it was Pochi who did it, since he was the one who controlled Rachel. Yep. Apparently the hero in the club's eyes was actually Pochi all along. Also, it may be true that Pochi was Mike's conspirator, but maybe we should put a little emphasis on the was. He did help the club. And if we are to think back, if he was Mike's conspirator, that means he must be the traitor Pielope mentioned on the train. Someone who is a traitor to Pielope is an ally for the club. He was the glue that made the club stick together to reach Osaka together, for Vanilla's sake. I think it is time we bring Pochi back, so that we can discuss all of this together.
Nyoro, you're being targeted. Move! Nyoro, are you okay?
I'm fine, but
Hey, look over there!
The robots are here to catch the club. However, Pochi has come to try and stop them. As he tries to go after them, Earthquake strikes, splitting Pochi from the rest of the club, keeping them safe, but at the cost of not being able to save Pochi from the robots. For Pochi, it was the right decision to no longer follow Mike's orders, because the Go-Getters Club, they are important to him. He has lied to them and tricked them, but what he feels now is undeniable. But apparently there was no chance for Pochi to triumph against the robots, as he falls down, damaged, exposed to everyone as another robot, or possibly something else we have yet to determine. It all ends on a sad note, as Pochi is dragged away by the robots on Mike's order, and the kids screaming his name one last time.
This is our room, the Go-Getters Club classroom. It's covered in ash, but the school itself is still okay. But it doesn't look like I can get out. The windows and doors are covered with metal plates. I can't force my way out. But why did Mike send me here? I wonder if everyone else is okay. I sure hope so. Huh? What is this? A hallucination?
Hey, Pochi, check this out! I made Kansai a wristband and he said, whoa, cool, put it on! Huh? No, it's not like that! It's not like I have a crush on him or anything! Huh? Charming? Oh, come on now, Pochi, give me a break! But, well, I feel a little more confident now. Thanks, Pochi.
Indeed, Pochi is seeing his fellow classmates and remembers the moments they had together. Pochi testing Mo-chan's paella and complimenting him as a good chef, going to the arcades with Tatsun, helping Vanilla writing programming code, spending time with Aniki in the summer, and doing some fun activities together, believing in the existence of ghosts, and comforting Pai for not being the only one who can do it, going to batting practice with Kansai, cheering up Jenu whenever she thinks of her sister's death. And, well, on the flip side, we have Nyoro this time comforting Pochi for others making fun of him. Those were indeed good times, but in Pochi's eyes, it is all over. The last memories he will have of the club will be of their anger, their disdain towards him for the betrayal, as they disappear one by one in front of him. He can never be with them ever again now. But then he sees Yuki. It is true, he has no memories of her before all this happened. She is new to the club and all. This makes Pochi question once again who she is, how she flew down from the sky early in the adventure. But it ain't long before she tells Pochi that everything will be alright, and disappears as well. Time passes. One of the robots comes in to check on Pochi, and he has one more chance at living as long as he pledges once more to obey Mike. But Pochi refuses, and the robot goes away.
Thanks so much for everything, you guys. I had such a great time. The days we spent here at school, our trip from Kagoshima to Tokyo. Honestly, I wish we could have spent more time together. I wish this trip could have lasted forever. But I guess this is goodbye. I'll never forget you. Even if this world ends, I'll remember you guys forever and ever. Mo-chan! You guys, what are...
Isn't it obvious?
We've come to save you, Pochi!
Nice! It turns out that they managed to fly the big UFO from before, like all the way here, and they managed to track Pochi.
But guys, are you sure you're okay with this?
Huh?
I've been lying to you all. Deceiving you all along.
No one here gives a damn about that.
Whatever happens, you're a go-getter. Nothing's gonna change that.
So let's stick together, Pochi. Go-Go-Getters will never ever fall apart. That's how the song goes, right?
Guys, thanks so much.
Hey, are you crying, Pochi?
No, of course I'm not crying. I've just sprung a leak.
Anyhow, we should get going.
If we let our guard down, those security robots might come back. All right, everyone, let's go.
Alright, time for everyone to escape together. The UFO is on the rooftop, so they head there, when suddenly...
Huh? What the?
What the heck?
Okay. I guess now Pochi has a new companion in the form of a crab or something. Controlling him by tickling his back? Acupuncture? Tattooing him? Okay, so apparently in order to get this thing off, Pochi thinks of using this machine to short-circuit the device to set him free. This is another gameplay section where Pochi will have to use these spotlights and avoid lasers to set himself free eventually. I'm gonna spare you the details here. So we reach the second floor.
Gotcha, bitch!
Again?
Alright. Enough of this crap. We eventually find out that Genu, Nyoro, and Kansai managed to get themselves captured. And it is up to Pochi to be the hero and use his own body to destroy the bars and free the kids. I mean, he is a robot, but that doesn't mean that he isn't getting injured here.
They're attacking! Even if Kansai and I can avoid them, Pochi and Yoro are... We've got to protect them somehow. I need to keep them safe. I need to protect them.
Hey! We have Genu's awakened powers displayed here, thus saving the kids by controlling gravity. Whew, that was a close one. Alright, so everyone finally managed to get to the rooftop to use the big UFO. But then...
You're...
It's been a while, PCH-01. I have watched over you all along.
It can't be.
That's right, my name is Mike. The god offering salvation to all beings here on this planet.
Huh. Apparently Red X became a god. Okay, so here, our lovely god Mike starts explaining some stuff. It is rumored that the earthquake started in summer of 1990 by some weapon developed in the country. God damn the government! And, well, the rumor is indeed fact, according to Mike. This weapon caused a chain reaction across the globe. Originally, Mike had nothing to do with this. He was, after all, an AI created in 1991, like a full year after that. He gathered all the data from all around and realized if this continues, humanity would go extinct. So for that, Mike began his master plan to alter the future and quote-unquote save humanity, which basically means taking control over humanity. Yeah, see, he doesn't even hide it. But something stood in his way, and that something is feelings. Oh, those pesky feelings, such an annoyance. And that's why he had to strip humanity of emotions. And, okay, I'm actually gonna stop here for a second and do this a little bit differently, because this is quite a lengthy exposition that Mike is offering us here. Like, well, it is typical of Uchikoshi and Kodaka. In stories such as Danganronpa and Zero Escape, they have their endings where a lot of things are explained. I've decided that instead of telling you guys myself what he says, I made this text box so that you can pause, read it, and, save some time in the video here. And also this text box. And this text box. This is gonna be your homework. You better be prepared. There is gonna be a test soon enough.
Everybody got that?
Everything has gone exactly as planned. Before long, every stage of my plan will be complete.
Every stage? Your plan?
Let me say it again. The reason I had to undertake this journey was to turn you into shepherds. I needed to awaken all of your abilities, and that process is now complete. Not a single member of the Go-Getters Club remains unawakened. The only thing left is to wait for your reply.
Reply?
I devised 2 strategies to protect life on this planet. One of those was the Human Sheepification Project. The goal was to support all life forms on this planet, while at the same time preserving humanity. But there is another way. The extermination of humankind. All I need to do is detonate the nanomachines in everyone's brains. You all have a choice to make. Become shepherds and make human sheepification a reality. Or annihilate humankind. That is what I mean by reply.
Quit fooling around! We can't make a choice like that!
If you don't make a choice, the second option will become inevitable. Do you not care if your father dies?
Wait a minute! You know about my dad?
Of course.
So you know where my dad is, too?
He tried to impede my plans. He is now in confinement.
What do you mean?
The person who created me was your father.
You're lying! My dad! Mike!
I'll give you some time. 3 days. Use them to think things through. Till then.
Well, that happened. I mean, what can I even say? The kids are having some rough days. And this is another one of them. I would have to say that the premise it is interesting. In a way, I can see Mike's actions here being done with some good intention, what with quote-unquote saving the planet. It's just that he has gone at it the wrong way. But you know how it is. I think that it is time Mike learns something from all this in my eyes. But until then, what are the kids gonna do? Well, to start with, of course Nyoro is gonna feel the most guilty of this entire thing since It is her father who created Mike. Which, by the way, I had a sneaky suspicion that the Japanese scientist was her father. I don't know, it was just a guess to where the story might be headed, if we are to think of twists and surprises that can be made. The club reassures her that it isn't her fault, nor her father's, that her father had good intentions when creating Mike, according to Pochi. That it was created in the beginning in the hopes of solving many problems. Lots of sick and starving people, energy problems, that sort of stuff. With that being said, apparently the club's reply is much easier to them than it may have looked. The third option, of course, to take Mike out. He has to be taken out, son! Another camping moment is here. One of the moments here that I can show is that where Kansai questions how before, Rachel never said anything. And, well, that's because he was an experimental model, as it was established before. He had no speech functionality. Now, in meta perspective, we did see that Rachel never spoke, but the club understood him, and I honestly thought from their perspective he did talk, but apparently him being mute was also consistent with the story, with the characters. The club knew him as a mute as well, but managed to understand him nonetheless. Now, this is something that Uchikoshi played with a little when it comes to his previous stories, in how the protagonist, from a narration perspective, will have some twists that will affect the way you see narration being done in said game. Like, I really cannot explain this further since it is spoiler, but I'm just gonna mention the following. In the first Zero Escape game, 999, there are two modes for you to choose when you're reading the story. Like, I don't know the names of the two modes, but one is more dialogue based, where you get to see mostly what the characters are talking. Like exactly like this game, if you are to think about it. And the other is both the dialogue and narrative description of the events and what goes through the character's mind. The second mode may actually end up being more important in a way that you did not expect if you were to go and finish 999. Like it actually has like an interesting twist when it comes to how the story is written and the narration is being done there. Okay, so Pochi says that Mike, or more specifically Mike's mainframe, is stored inside the Panopticon above Tokyo. We go destroy the mainframe, deactivate the nanomachines, and we call it a day. One thing to note here is that the club does not know who the girl Mike mentioned that he was studying. Well, I certainly know, but that is because this was discovered in the other timeline before the emergency button decision. Here, the kids don't know yet, in this case. Also, Pochi tells us of his plan to defeat Mike, cause, yeah, he had a plan since the start as well, folks. He wanted to defeat Mike after everyone gained their powers after this long journey, cause he realized how important humans are and how important the club is to them after being with them for such a long time. He never told us because he didn't want Mike to find this out early. And, well, now Pochi can finally talk about this stuff because if he spills the beans here, he doesn't think that Mike would pull the trigger this late in the plan, given that he's so close to completion. Everyone is awakened after all. Like, it would be quite a waste if Mike undid all this effort just because Pochi decided to spill the beans now. Okay, so one last thing though. Nyoro gives Pochi the letter badge. Yeah, remember folks, Kansai gave this to Rachel in the hopes that one day Kansai would be better leader and get it from Rachel. Well, and now it seems that Pochi will be the one to hold it, cause he deserves it after all that happened. And also, an extra bonus. Oh my! Pochi is getting quite the reward tonight.
Did you guys just see that? She just kissed Pochi on the cheek!
It is cute. I think all of us saw that Nyoro liked Pochi like quite a bit throughout the story. I think it is a cute ship, and everyone is blushing at the sight of this. They are kids, after all. It is quite a mystical, fantastical moment in their eyes. Mo-chan has his own reaction here. I mean, remember, Mo-chan also liked Nyoro, so... yeah, sorry buddy. Don't worry, there are other cute girls out there for you. Alright, time for action! The club is going straight ahead for the mainframe. But Pierlope appears yet again to fight us in the name of Mike. This time, he decides to entrap almost everyone in his cages. And I do say almost, because apparently he didn't have enough cages in this case. That is because before, Pierlope thought that it was unnecessary to prepare an extra cage for Vanilla, because Vanilla, she cannot be captured. And apparently he forgot that Vanilla is a ghost in the end, so a cage was wasted on her when it should have been used on Chuko. Oops. And thus Pierlope transforms again into another monstrosity and tries to defeat Chuko. So this boss battle is actually quite fun here. So the idea is that each member of the club will have their own turn at beating up Pierlope. Chuko beats Pierlope, then Pai gets released to beat Pierlope, and it goes like that until everyone gets released. What I like about this battle here is that Pierlope actually uses powers of the kid that previously fought them. Chuko fights Pierlope with her Caramucho, while Pierlope fights back with just some regular claw attacks or something. However, when Pai comes up next, Pierlope fights with Chuko's ability to spit fire, so Pai has to defend herself from the attack with her shield, and also attack Pierlope by getting close and use the shield to get a hit. Next, Nyoro has to send bombs at Pierlope, who currently creates shields like Pai to protect herself. Kansai has to hit the bombs Pierlope creates back at them. Mo-chan has to attack Pierlope with his body, while Pierlope uses swing attacks like Kansai. Genu has to use her ability to avoid Pierlope's ball form. Aniki uses his quakes and Pierlope sticks to the ceiling to try and avoid the attacks. And next is gonna be Tatsu, and you know, remember last time when I showed you how Tatsun's powers ran out and we got a game over, and because of him tiring himself out, he got killed there? Well, Tatsun gets in a similar situation, but just watch. How the hell did Tatsu manage to dodge that? I mean, who am I to complain? Christ. I guess this is revenge for last time. Wow. Alright, now it is Pochi's turn, and he manages to brute force himself through Pierlope's electrical attacks. And Pochi does his finisher on Pierlope by electrifying him and destroying him with a beam. I think. I'm not sure what exactly happened here, but we won! Pierlope is down for the count, and now we go to the mainframe and destroy Mike. Except, uh-oh, the mainframe is not here? I thought you could have sworn the mainframe was here. Pierlope, you got some explaining to do here. And explain she does. Indeed, Mike is not here, and Pierlope came here to collect data on the kids. From what we are learning here, apparently there are 3 Mike personalities. There is the main one that we've seen before, there is Pierlope here, and another one apparently. And surprise, surprise! We learned here that the girl Mike was studying was Vanilla. Alright, so time for some explaining here. Right now, because of us finding out Vanilla is still alive, the Vanilla that we see here vanishes thanks to Mike. Remember when Vanilla had her accident and died? Well, she didn't. At that point, apparently her power got awakened, and she has ethereal spirit, where she can detach her spirit from her body. So what we've seen before was not Vanilla's dead ghost, but rather her living spirit all this time. She still got in an accident, but her body got recovered quickly and put in that pod that you saw early. And the treatment, it was a success. So then, here is the ultimatum. If the kids won't become shepherds for Mike, Vanilla will die. They're gonna cut Vanilla's oxygen that is supplied in her body, unless the kids do as Mike says. It is a steady decrease in oxygen, and the brain cells are dying slowly, so according to Penelope, at this rate, Vanilla has 24 hours left. And thus the moment ends with one final revelation.
What? What the heck?
After the accident, Manila was taken to a facility. She's still there. It's your fault. It's your fault. It's your fault.
Huh? What on earth?
When you were having that barbecue, Vanilla didn't just carelessly wander into the road. Once she left you, she spotted a truck speeding to where you were. They made no sign of trying to brake. In fact, they looked as though they sped up. If it had kept going, it was obviously going to crash right into everyone. That's why she jumped in front of the truck.
Yep, quite a huge sacrifice on Vanilla's part. The club are tired of Penelope's bullshit now, and now they remain silent, stunned at what they just learned. Total sadness looming over them now. And that was part 2 of our summary/highlight playthrough of World's End Club. Part 3 will arrive soon enough. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe to show support for the channel, and follow me on Twitter and Discord for updates and discussions. I also have a Ko-fi page for you to maybe tip if you feel generous. I am putting work into these videos, so it is always appreciated. We'll see you guys in the next part.